time frame perspective, let's start to break this one down, because this is quite interesting. So the first 15 minutes of the market, I don't trade. Now that is the key level. That is sort of 9:30 to 9:45 Eastern. So now once we've broken out of this 15-minute range, this is what we're looking for. Now, again, from a pre-market perspective, here's what we have. So we're waiting, right? We don't trade the first 5 minutes or even the first 15 minutes, right? We don't trade them. What we're looking for is we want to see how the market was reacting off our key levels. And so we're going to break this down first. So this was ES 6830. So this was a 6830 level. So that was here. 6830. Now, what do we see over here? So this was key level number 1, right? So we're interested. This was key level 1. What was going on here, right? So let's get them up side by side so traders can understand this. Now, we've been through this. I've been through this on the channel a lot of times, right? But this rejection of key level 1 was here. Now, what is this, right? What does this actually represent, right? What does the footprint charts tell us? So, now, when it comes to understanding footprint charts, we have the bid, right? And we have the ask. These are the only two numbers you need to understand. Now, when we look here specifically, we have the bid, which is actually aggressive sellers, right? Versus aggressive buyers. This is what you're looking at with footprint charts. Now, when you see aggressive sellers versus aggressive buyers, what happens is this, right? The footprint charts will give you something called the delta. Now, the delta is just the right number minus the left number. Now, more specifically, what we see here is a negative delta or a red delta, right? We see this red delta, right? So what does the red delta translate to, right? We see the red delta here. What does this red delta translate to? So this wick rejection before the market rallied much higher, we see a lot of red. So what does this red delta actually indicate, right? Without actually reading the numbers. Well, what it tells us is that there are more aggressive sellers, right? So there are more aggressive sellers than buyers, right? More aggressive sellers than aggressive buyers. Now, you want to look at that. You want to ask yourself something. If there were more aggressive buyers and the market moved higher, right? Who was in control at this zone, right? Who was in control between the buyers and the sellers, right? Who was in control? Who was in control, right? Well, the answer is buyers. Now, more specifically, we call these passive buyers. Passive buyers, right? Passive buyers are basically what's driving price up at this zone, right? Passive buyers, right? Passive buyers. So understanding this basic logic can really help you on the footprint chart. So think about this through. You have the bid and the ask, which give you the aggressive sellers and the aggressive buyers. Now, when you see red delta, there are more aggressive sellers than buyers, right? So who is in control? Well, it's not the sellers, because if the sellers here were successful, they would have drove price down. But the fact that price went up, it shows you that the passive buyers are really in control, right? The passive buyers being in control is what makes us understand that the market is actually bullish, right? This is what makes the market bullish, right? Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else makes the market bullish